Super Bowl 63. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Houston Texans.
It has been a season full of twists and turns, and it all reaches a crescendo here tonight as EA Sports so proud to welcome you to the marquee event of the NFL calendar, Super Bowl Sunday. Nothing on the scoreboard, 0-0 as the offense gets ready to take over the football. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Houston. Nico Collins with a first touchdown of this Super Bowl and a long one at that. And the Texans put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead. So a long play for our first points in the Super Bowl.
No doubt about it, and what we see here is something that we saw all year long from them, the ability to strike.
Early on in the game, first quarter. Let's see how this defense does on this drive. Now Ward throwing to start the drive. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more.
There he goes, left side. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
Well, after the standard two-week layoff, you always wonder how's your offense going to respond and come out and play here in the Super Bowl. Well, they got a great answer right there and almost a sigh of relief on that side of the field because now they've got to feel like they can use their entire playbook and game plan for this one.
Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. They go play action here on first down. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Back to throw. Ward. His throw incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere.
And there's a good opportunity to just want to ride there, a drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
Now a timeout called for by the defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good. And this will stay at a 7-point game. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Nico Collins, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Texans will add to their first quarter lead here in this Super Bowl. That's a heck of a start to this one for him here in the first quarter.
2 receiving touchdowns, just getting the game underway essentially. I mean, there's a long way to go. If I'm on defense, I've got to figure out.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Ward. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Well, when you're down a couple of scores like this, CD, you can't afford too many plays that go in the wrong direction like that one.
Yeah, when you take a good look at it broadly, sacks are better than giving up an interception. But where they are on the scoreboard, they've got to get rid of all of that and just create positive plays for themselves in order to have a chance.
To throw is Ward. Looking to throw on 2nd down. He finds his man complete. It's Fields. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. The biggest game, the biggest stage, Super Bowl 63, 1 quarter in the books. 14-0 is our score. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And that is incomplete.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get on track in this one.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Returnable here from the 38. Oh, good move. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10.
Here's Nico Collins, and this offense getting set to go for another drive.
He has certainly made the most of his catches so far, both of them. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
And this one nearly picked off. Yeah, kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down.
He'll look to throw. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. Touchdown, Houston.
Joe Mixon,
40 yards.
And the Texans continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl.
When we drop defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Derek Hall, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
First carry for Rachaad White.
And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. That'll go as a 42-yard punt. They'll be aided by a loss of yardage on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10.
Here's Nico Collins, and this offense getting set to go for another drive.
Not a bad day. On the ground, this is Joe Mixon.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Again, it's Mixon. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
From a couple of yards beyond midfield, here's 2nd and 8.
Now Joe Mixon. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I don't care what anyone says. I want a big-time backing in this kind of yardage each and every time I step on the field. A tone setter, these guys are hard to find.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Being chased out left. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. Touchdown, Houston.
Joe Mixon,
His 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl.
and the Texans are starting to open things up here in the Super Bowl.
That is today's NFL, isn't it? If you're going to be a running back in this league, you've got to be.
So a 1st and 10 coming up for the offense here in the 2nd quarter. Let's see what this defense can do. The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we've come upon halftime in the big one, the Super Bowl. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. What a season this has been. Hard to believe it ends tonight, as we'll get back to you guys for the second half of this Super Bowl in just a moment.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl.
And no run back here as the 3rd quarter will commence with a touchback.
Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the 3rd quarter.
And right now, their chances of hoisting that Lombardi trophy not looking.
Ward now, throwing to start the drive. He finds his man, complete. That's Fields.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here's 3rd and 10.
Looking to throw.
Ward to the right side and intercepted.
And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Partner, I see you reaching for the white flag. Put it down. I don't want you throwing it, but I understand why, because if you do, you're hoping they might actually stop this game because we're in blowout territory right now. That interception just surrendered any momentum they built up in the locker room.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And he whips that one incomplete there.
But these are the situations that really test a defense, those sudden changes. They're already inside field goal range to start the possession. Their goal now, keep it to a long kick, if indeed they end up trying one.
third quarter of the biggest spectacle in sport, the Super Bowl. Thanks for joining us, everybody. 2nd and 10.
They'll look to throw here. Man open, here is Jones. Touchdown! A great effort there. 33 yards.
And the Texans are starting to pour it on the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl.
Well, after another passing touchdown, I don't think it'd be an understatement to say that he's in the zone, and I believe he likes it.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They keep it on the ground. White again. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the third quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seams, and now they've got this game well in hand.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw. Ward. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. The defense rising to the challenge and setting them back on the sack. 3 quarters in the books. 1 to go here in Super Bowl 63 and that final frame after this timeout. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Looking to throw. Ward. Pass is caught by Wan'Dale Robinson. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. This offense so far on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is going to be 3rd and 13. That is incomplete. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. That one and looks like he'll throw here. He's got it to Collins, complete. And he'll have it past midfield, almost to the 40 before being taken down. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. Well, this one probably not the close game you would expect or hope to see in prime time, CD. But, of course, that wasn't their intent in preparing for this one. They said they felt like their offense was ready to put up some points. And, my goodness, it has been a dominant display in front of a national audience.
Yeah, they thought it. And it certainly came to fruition, didn't it? They've been dominant in so many ways in this one. If you weren't paying attention to this group before, you certainly are now after seeing this type of victory from them.
Back to throw now on first down. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable from the moment we began this game, and they're not holding back. They're still throwing the football here in the fourth.
They certainly are, and let me tell you something. If you're old school, you don't like this at all. But in today's football, you just go ahead and savor it. Watch a team execute at a high level. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on first and goal. Back to throw again. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
And that final kickoff concludes the ball game, partner. And one side, a really nice win in this one. They were good on offense and on defense.
And I'm guessing in the other locker room, partner, the head coach is just telling his team, hey, we didn't play well enough to keep it close enough where that one possession down the stretch might have given us an opportunity to win the game.
And they end this year just how everybody wants to end the year, holding the Lombardi Trophy. What a season for them. What a ride it's been for us as well here in the booth. For Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next season right here on EA Sports.
Let me know.